Welcome to the BVS Film Productions Final Cuts podcast series. The latest tips and trends in the online video production world.
Hi everybody, we're back again today with our next episode of Final Cuts. I'm here with Bob Miller, a good friend of mine and business associate for a million years, I would say, before our hair was gray.
Way before hair was gray.
Way before.
And we had more hair.
Yeah, I think I've known you, Bob, since junior high. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think it was 15,
the math class.
15?
I remember.
14, 15, something like that.
That's right.
Yeah. Dueling bands back then.
We did. Many of you may not know that, you may know us from the business world, you know, through different things, but we've been musicians longer than we've been in business people, you know. Yeah. Like I said, junior high, I think, was probably when we actually met, got to know each other. And we still play today. It's a lot of fun.
Yes,
we do it on some weekends anymore. Not all weekends, but once in a while we'll do it. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how video has played a role in bands in general, and on how it helps them get jobs and things of that nature. So, you want to kind of talk a little bit about
God, Dan, that's
where to begin?
that's huge. I mean, think of, the days of coming out and hearing a band, like when we used to play at Carrie Sereno's all the time, are gone. People don't have time to come out and listen to a band, or if they do, they realize they're only there for 10, 15 minutes. They hear 4 songs, and they may not be hearing the songs they want to hear or the kind of music they want to hear. So what a video does is, as we've done it 1,000 times, we do snippets of different songs and different types of songs, so they get a feel, a flavor of what we sound like playing different kinds of music. Right. Also, what we look like, and then also we
sometimes that's a good and bad, right?
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. So it's more of a blur on the cameras, right, Eddie? You blur the background.
We put that soft screen, that soft thing on us. But again, it's just a matter of a selling tool. Yeah. And it's a convenient selling tool. You can watch it in your home. You can watch it in your car on your phone.
Yeah, I think
you can hear us. Even more importantly, you can hear us.
And I think one of the first, I remember when I first joined the band that we kind of I played on and off for years with it, but back when I did, it was like out of high school. I think I came out and played with you guys, maybe college, somewhere in there. And, I showed up and, you guys were out playing, doing stuff. And I was saying, you know what, we got to find a way to get you in front of people. I was in the marketing world. I'm like, okay, why don't we make a video? Let's do that. And I think you knew about it, wanted to do that too. But I don't think the other guys were kind of up on it at the time.
Well, they're uglier than we are. So
that's probably it's a matter of opinion now for me anyway. We were looking at that. We're looking at doing, I said, hey guys, we got to do a video and we got to get with an agency, because those are the guys that are going to book you in.
Right.
I remember we got that first video done and we took it out there, and I think we got quite a few more jobs, and our price went up quite a bit once we started using an agency.
Correct.
And then we're like, okay, what's our next video going to look like? But yeah, you're right. It's like, it's one of anybody can watch it anytime, And
that was the other thing too. We had to constantly do them every year and a half to 2 years, because people wanted to hear the new songs.
New songs, right.
So it wasn't something you could kick a video out and it was going to last for 5, 8, 10 years. No, even you had to redo it. I think for a while we were doing it about every year and a half, if I remember right.
Yeah. The competition was pretty fierce in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So again, it was just a great tool for. This was even really before online stuff to a point. People used to go. You remember this, Dan? People would go into the agency and sit there in nice, comfy couches and chairs, and they'd put their monitor on and put the VHS tape in there of us and play it, and that's how we were getting hired by them. Now of course everything is online or that way. Yeah. But again, it was still as important then as it is now. It was just presented in a different way, in a different fashion. Yeah. A little more. You had to get, and I guess it helped some of the agencies. You forced them besides selling the band, you got them. They had a chance to sell themselves too. You got them into their environment.
Right. Exactly.
And the agencies we worked with were pretty good about knowing how to market themselves and do that. So I think it helped us. And we had pretty good relationships with some of these folks for a long time.
Right. Yeah, we did. And, it was funny because they would listen to the video, and a lot of them back then wouldn't hire you from the video. They'd want to come out and see you next. So they'd schedule a time to come out and see you. And I see people getting away from that. Now, they don't do that as much. They just hire you on the spot anymore.
They don't have time anymore.
Yeah, with that. And then back to the COVID thing. They didn't want to,
Exactly. You're right, Dan. Think how many times people saw the video and then wanted to come out and hear us. I think it was more just to see in that. They heard us play songs. They wanted to see how we did with the crowd.
Yeah.
I think could we get a dance floor full? That kind of thing. So I think that was, and we got lucky a lot of Carrie Serenos because everyone danced. So if that was a great place to get people to come out and see us, because 9 out of 10 times the dance floor was 3/4 full or full on almost every song.
Back in the day, you'd have to lug gear up the stairs. It's funny. Yes, every place had a different headache
issue.
Right? Not necessarily headache, but I guess what do you
obstacle?
Call it? Obstacle, yes.
Yeah,
Either you're going through the kitchen on the kitchen elevator with, slippery floor.
Oh, remember all the downtown hotels where you're going through switching elevators.
Everybody thinks it's so great to play in like a super nice hotel downtown. From a band standpoint, that's probably one of the worst places to load and unload gear.
And back in those days, too, we didn't wear what we were going to play in. And so, how many bathroom stalls did you and I switch from jeans to a tuxedo? Yeah. Most of the time, the handicap stall wasn't available.
No.
So you're banging in, hoping nothing falls on the toilet while you're getting changed.
Yes. Yeah. And then back in the old days, it was like you'd always have one or two jobs where there's a super drunk dude there, and he's acting stupid. It's just not smart.
Yes, that's right. True. And of course, we were too loud until we were playing their kind of music.
Exactly right. So it's going to be a bad crowd when you're actually just setting your gear up and somebody comes up to you and goes, "That looks like it's going to be too loud."
The PA isn't on yet. Yeah, and they're saying we're too loud.
We're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Ohio Displays is the leading trade show display company in Northeast Ohio. We help build, design, and manage trade show exhibits for our clients in any phase or aspect of their trade show program.
So we're back, and I guess now we're going to talk a little bit how music's changed a little bit and how video has affected that, and how it's being viewed differently compared to what it used to be. So,
well, again, look at our last video, Dan. We went back with the idea of pushing all the different varieties we can play to putting some of the stuff we would have played on a video 15 years ago. Because so much stuff is in a cycle.
Yeah.
It was the first time in a long time we had a big band song on there. We had a jazz song on there. We had a polka on there. Because we took a different marketing approach with this video of pushing the fact of we're one of the last true variety bands out there.
Yeah.
We were just talking during break about how when you and I started playing the music for the old folks was playing big band music. Now we got people that look older than us, and that's hard to find, are asking for AC/DC. So it's interesting too how music, and that's another good reason why you need to keep that video updated, whether it's putting in new songs or down the road putting in some of the older stuff again.
Right.
We put in Margaritaville and some older stuff we haven't done in years on that video.
Yeah.
Because we thought at this point we changed gears. We're the variety band. We're not the play every brand new top 40 song band anymore.
Yeah.
But again, that's the niche that we went for, and that's why video is so important for that. And in our case, in musicians' cases, and Ed does it too, they need to get redone every once in a while. You can always do it better. You can always do something, but whether it sounds a little bit better, whether it looks a little bit better, whether it looks, like making us older slow guys look like we're moving around faster. But that's what we need to look at. And that's why, again, oh my God, video's been the only way we've really sold in the last years.
Yeah, it's just been crazy, and it's just like, we got another job. They never met him. You didn't shake. Oh, you got another job. It's like, it just depends now. It's where is it at? What time do you show up there? Whatnot. Right. And back then we needed the money. We had to have the money. Now it's like, it's more, we like playing out and it's fun. And
exactly.
And that's,
we still like the money.
Yeah. Money's okay.
But it's a matter of just playing for fun and recreation.
Right.
Like you said, it's not a money we're counting on surviving on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But look at the way this economy's going, geez.
Right. Yeah, so it's really coming in handy at the grocery store.
Yeah, I think you're right. with an $8 loaf of bread. It's nuts. Yeah. So let me think here. Oh, what our band is? What are we called? We're called The Edge right now. So we'll put a little plug in there. And,
good or bad, we are probably one of the longest running bands. We can mention.
Yeah.
that.
So how long is The Edge been around? I mean, the band that I played on and off with over the years. And when did you start in this thing? Because that was so long ago.
If you recall, when I started, it was still the original name of the reminisce Orchestra.
Oh my God!
And if you remember, we used to bring out wooden pale blue stands.
I remember that. Oh my God!
With the logo on the front, like as if we were a big band.
Yeah, right.
But you have to admit, it came in handy because we could have cocktails underneath it.
Right.
But and then it grew, and it became Rick and the Cutting Edge. That word came in. The Rick Mattis Band right before that, and then we thought it may make more sense to leave names out of it, and graciously Rick agreed. And we decided to go from the Cutting Edge down to just the Edge.
Who's Rick, by the way? Rick is the leader?
Rick is the keyboard player. He's the one that started this band. And again, him and Mike started, we keep kidding him that they're like Michael Jackson. They never had a childhood.
Yeah,
they both started at 16 years old.
Yeah.
Playing out in 1974.
Wow. That's older than the Rolling Stones.
They might be.
Not quite.
It's close. But again, that's how long, I've been doing it since 83, and it seems like forever.
Yeah.
It's still fun. I still look forward to playing. Every time we play, I look forward to playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just shows how time creeps up on you and time gets by, and next thing you know, it's
right. Yeah, and it's funny because you see the people how they've changed too. It used to be you'd play from 9 to 2 in the morning for a wedding. When you do a wedding. Now it's like 7. We're gonna go to nap at 10 or maybe 11. Everybody leave it by 10 or 11, and they're out of there. And for us, it's great. We don't mind doing that.
The other thing that saves us here in Ohio is the non-smoking.
Oh my gosh!
I remember when we first started, it was smoking, and I would come home and have to leave. So in the winter, I would have to leave my winter coat and usually my amplifier because it was carpet covered.
Right.
Out in the garage for a day or two because it just reeked of cigarette smoke. And the sad thing is or ironic thing is, no one in the band smoked.
No, indirectly.
Yeah, besides, we second-handed it all every night.
I had a leather coat, and that was maybe even before in the rock bands we played, but you could scrape the nicotine off the outside of the coat. It was so
think about that. Even bars we used to play.
How we made
in
it
the
to
rock
our age,
band that you by halfway through the night you couldn't even see halfway down the room anymore because of smoke.
Yeah.
And again, that was one of the things that was nice to see disappear as far as, again, for the most part, playing in smoke-free areas. Again, when you're singing too, it really doesn't help you when you're inhaling all that smoke and everything else.
True.
But yeah, that was a nice change. And also it's interesting that kind of the way what's happened in business is there's not as many people dressing up anymore at weddings. You still see the suits. Well, I don't say suits that much anymore. You see sport coats and open shirt, a lot of jeans anymore.
Yeah, right.
So there doesn't seem to be. So it's more casual. Do I think that's good or bad? I have no comment on that.
Every so often you get a bridezilla, not even a bridezilla, mother of the bridezilla. That they want you to do things one way or another. But yeah, you get over it.
Well, think of all the things we've seen over the years, Dan. We've seen the father of the bride get in a fist fight with the groom.
Yeah, I've seen that.
We've seen at one wedding the bride's or the best man attach an actual ball and chain to the groom, disappear, and he had to do the whole reception with that on him.
Yeah. Right.
But just different goofy things.
See people get thrown into
cakes,
pools.
Sitting there on stage watching this cake with a waterfall on it slowly slide off the table and just crash to the floor with no one even around it.
I was going to almost catch that cake. I think
you wanted to eat the cake.
Yeah, I wanted to eat it.
But again, just all these goofy little sub stories and side stories. We kept saying we should write a book about all the stuff we went through.
Well, we'll do a podcast.
No one would believe it.
They wouldn't believe it.
Well, here's our started podcast on it.
Started a podcast on wedding horror stories. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. Exactly. So wrapping it up, videos have played a huge role in just bands in general. I mean, all the way back if you look at MTV,
music video,
MTV,
exactly.
all that stuff.
Exactly.
We tried doing all that. And just got into that, and but more so with the all occasion bands. And I think it's really a selling tool for them that is almost a mandatory need anymore for what's happening. Matter of fact, I think Eddie, our executive producer here that's behind the camera, he's doing one right now for another one of our associates that's started a band up, and he realized the importance of doing a video. So he went to Eddie's studio to work on that, and it sounds really good. It's really coming along awesome. So good stuff.
Very good.
Yeah, well, appreciate you being here today, Bob. And
absolutely.
Yeah,
appreciate you inviting me. Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. So that's it for this session. We'll plan on seeing you in the next episode. Have a great week.
Visit bvsfilmproductions.com or email info@bvsfilmproductions.com to find out more.
Let's face it, everybody loves to make podcasts and vodcasts, but nobody wants to edit them. Well, except for us. At Premier Podcast Productions, we professionally edit and distribute podcasts and vodcasts for companies around the world. Our process is simple and affordable, allowing you to stay focused on what you do best, developing great content and building your subscriber base. From recording and editing to final distribution and marketing, we can help every step of the way to make your podcast stand out and get the results it deserves. Contact us today at premierpodcastpros.com to take your podcast to the next level.